How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious, and welcome to a short and sweet breakdown of the new fusion coming to Raid Shadow Legends. It is going to be a fragment fusion for Crocod, the Throat Ripper. This is the legendary dog people have been waiting for, clamoring for a very long time, and he comes as an unbelievable bond skill ability companion with Packmaster Shayak. I think for that reason, he's kind of underrated right now. I think a lot of people don't have the Packmaster. They either skipped that fusion or, like me, they weren't playing at that time, so they're thinking he's less desirable since he won't be at full potential. But in this video, I want to explain that depending on the multipliers, which I'm assuming will be at least pretty dang good, if not better, he's gonna be great without the Packmaster. He's just gonna be amazing with the Packmaster. But a great fusion is not something we always get. So I think for that reason and the fact that it's a fragment, the vast majority of players should be going for this guy. So without further ado, let's get into it. I want to start by explaining his kit to you without any of the Packmaster Shayak unlocked abilities or synergies or improved features from this bond, right? I'm just going to talk about him like a normal unit without that. And then at the end, we'll circle back and I'll explain how the Packmaster stuff really elevates him. But that all being said, he's already very strong. Of course, caveat, I mentioned it briefly, but if the multipliers suck, they suck, and that will suck. But we're going to operate under the assumption for now until he comes out on the test server and we get to see some numbers that he's at least okay. So let's start with the A1 over here, Hound Tyrant. And you'll see the theme of this guy, he's kind of a Hydra slayer. He's very much designed to help you in Hydra, and he should be really good at it. He's going to be phenomenal at it with the Packmaster. He should still be really good at it without him. And we already get a nice Hydra-tuned ability here with the S1, where you're going to see he attacks all enemies, but each one of those attacks against the enemies that comes with that AoE are coded as a single target instance of damage. So because of that, he gets to ignore the annoying part of Hydra, where all the heads come with, where is it? Here we go, the decrease in damage all the Hydra heads take from AoE attacks. This technically is not going to register as an AoE attack, so it's 10% stronger than it would be otherwise, right? Pretty dang nice. On top of that, he's going to ignore Reflect Damage, Pain Link, and Ally Protect. Again, very much tuned for Hydra. His kit allows you to ignore and circumvent a lot of the most annoying mechanics in Hydra, which will make him really special for a lot of accounts. Let's continue now to his S2, Festering Jaw. This is going to be a 4-turn cooldown with skill ups. It's going to be a 3-turn cooldown, and the debuff chances will be 100%. This is an AoE attack, and from everything we can see, it is coded as such. There is no special stipulation, as we saw with Hound Tyrant, that each enemy will take single target damage individually. So it's a normal AoE, and he will place an extra hit on enemies under 2 or more debuffs. So with most content, as you progress through the game, you're going to bring a lot of debuffers, and ideally all the enemies you're facing will always be under at least 2 debuffs, hopefully a lot more. But without a doubt, in Hydra, this is the expectation if you're doing everything correctly. You're going to have decreased defense, you're going to have weaken, you're going to have block buffs, you're going to have hex, so on and so on. So just consider it a double hitter if you're doing everything correctly. Now with skill ups, there's a 100% chance of placing a leech debuff and a 25% big version weaken debuff for 2 turns. We'll come back to all the Packmaster stuff. Let's keep going. We've got the A3. This is his first single target move. He attacks one enemy. He will ignore 50% of the target's defense, as well as life barrier and poison cloud buffs. So again, he's just saying, screw you, Hydra. I don't care about all your special things. I'm going to pretend they are not there. And moreover, he will ignore effects that redirect attacks, damage, or debuffs to another target. So if you're thinking the Head of Mischief, you're not going to need Hex up, right? He's just going to say, let's pretend that that ability you have doesn't exist, and I'm going to go straight for you. So that redirect is neutralized. Now with the passive, Primal Ambition. Increases this champion's attack by 5% when killing an enemy or decapitating a Hydra head. So let's take it one final step to make sure everyone knows he's a Hydra champion. This is going to be, you don't just need a kill, they're counting decapitations for him as a kill when it comes to stacking this passive. So with every kill of an enemy or decapitation of a Hydra head, he will get 1 stack of 5% attack. This can stack 5 times, up to 25%. Finally, a very simple aura. It seems to be really typical when there's an attack-based freely accessible unit, whether that be a login or a fusion. Attack in all battles, 30%. Better than nothing. So, I have not yet talked about any of the Packmaster Shayak unlocked abilities and improved abilities, and you can see, assuming he doesn't hit like a wet noodle, this is a very good kit. The A1, it doesn't have to deal with that AoE damage mitigation in the Hydra. He ignores so many Hydra E effects. Assuming this hits hard at all, it's an awesome skill. Even if the A1 doesn't hit hard, because this is a nice little AoE on the basic, he is a great candidate for a curse set or a provoke set if you need to use a champion for that purpose in one of your battles. If we go to the A2, these are very necessary debuffs, right? Leech, this will help keep all of your DPS alive, and then Weaken is going to make sure everyone deals a bit more damage. Having these two on an AoE is really nice. And then finally, I think the most exciting skill in his kit, this single target skill where he's ignoring 50% of defense, life barrier, and poison cloud, as well as any redirect effects, is just designed for the Hydra. To get you out of a sticky spot, he can make sure that you're good to go. If your Hexer champion gets consumed by one of the heads, and now you can't put out Hex, so you can't target the Mischief head, now you can, right? This makes it possible. So all in all, it's just very, very strong, very, very good. That all being said, now we've broken down Crocod over here, the Throat Ripper, as if you didn't have the Packmaster, which is my situation, right? And I think a lot of you, let me know in the comments, if you do have the Packmaster, he's definitely better. So let's start with the S1. This attack will deal double damage when counterattacking if Packmaster Shayak is on the team. Obviously, Packmaster Shayak's kit is about allowing his dogs to go absolutely ballistic, and this is going to be his number one buddy. This is going to be his best friend. This is his number one doggo. Crocod's going to shine bright like a diamond on that A1 when he's got Packmaster on the team. Now with the A2, you no longer need to build him with accuracy. The only debuffing in his kit, the only accuracy-based skill in his kit is the A2, landing that AoE Leech and Weaken. If you've got Packmaster, these effects are irresistible. So great, 100% with skill ups, and now they're irresistible. We get to ignore accuracy, and he becomes a lot less stat hungry. And now the improvement to Dominant Predator. If you've got Packmaster Shayak, this is the best beef up to his kit. To recap, he's already going to do the single target attack. He's going to ignore 50% of the defense, as well as life barrier, poison cloud, and redirection effects, but he'll repeat it and do it a second time if Packmaster Shayak is on the team. This here makes me worried that his multipliers won't be that good because they're assuming you're going to use him with Packmaster. So with the double hitter, they're going to be awesome, but as a single hitter, maybe it won't. I hope that's not the case. Dedos cruzados, fingers crossed, but we'll have to see. But this on a double hitter, if it hits hard to begin with, is really, really good, and it actually only gets better with the passive. The simple part of the passive, that increase of 5% per stack up to 5 stacks whenever he kills an enemy or decapitates a head, is now increased to 10% and can stack up to 50%. So if you get 5 kills or 5 decapitations, he's all the way up to 50% increase attack. But the best part, and this is where you're going to want to bring the Packmaster in if you've got the two of them. He will instantly activate Dominant Predator, that is the A3 that hits so hard on the double hitter with Packmaster Shayak, ignoring the defense and the life barrier and the poison cloud and the redirection effects. He will instantly activate that against any Hydra head when an ally is consumed by that head. You need Packmaster for this, but basically the second someone's consumed, he's going right in to absolutely slap them around and make it a lot easier for your team, your champions, your allies to deal enough damage to get that Hydra head to cough up that very valuable ally. All in all, I think we've got a very beautiful doggo on our hands. I will say, as a player that does not own Packmaster Shayak, I am a little anxious to see how hard these moves actually hit without the Packmaster. I can definitely see a world where the double damage enabled by Packmaster Shayak being on the team with the A1 is kind of required to make it actually hit hard. And additionally, I can see a similar thing on the A3 Dominant Predator that you kind of need it to be a double hitter to hit hard. I really hope that's not the case, but TBD. I'm also curious, and let me know what you guys think about this, because this is fairly foreign to me. Do you think they're going to make Packmaster Shayak available through something, maybe a Deck of Fate or some kind of path event? Maybe they could do it through a Prism summoning pool. I figure they're at least going to do something. I wish that would be very widely accessible, but I can't imagine that will be the case. Let me know what you guys think below in the comment section about Crocod, the Throat Ripper. I think he already feels really underrated, but of course it does come with the caveat, is he actually going to hit hard without the Packmaster? Fingers crossed, guys. Thank you for watching. If you're new to Raid Shadow Legends, be sure to use my link in the description and the top pinned comment. Best link in the land for amazing champions right at the start of the game for you. Share it with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.